Hello again. So this is the first one back here. It's great to be back. So the ankle's healed up pretty well. So I've got a fair whack of scars there, but basically it's feeling pretty good. It's still pretty weak, so I can't run yet, or I haven't tried because I don't feel that it's strong enough that I can do it without compromising my balance. But I've been here for a week now, and I've been able to do a whole lot more than I thought I'd be able to do. I had the balance to do kicks, just like sort of to stand up and, oh, you probably couldn't see that, to stand up and balance on, so I was balancing on my bad foot then, and it's easier if I balance on the other one and do the kick, if I'm not landing it on something. So that hasn't been an issue at all. Like I've been able to do the punches, footwork and stuff like that. Some of the footwork I've had to sacrifice. Like I can't or I haven't been willing to, because it strains it too much to put in the power to actually push off with a good amount of speed. But yeah, they're pretty little compromises. I did have to take it easy on Friday just because it sort of started to wear on me that I think that I was pushing a little bit too hard in the last couple of days. But with any luck, I'll be able to do a full week next week. So I had 3 months where I was back in Australia. I probably should have mentioned it on Facebook or something like that, that I was planning to come back basically as soon as I found out from the doctors that I was going to be good in 3 months, and I asked them about it, whether it was plausible that I could come back and do something like this, and they said it was. So about a month in of being back in Australia, I booked my tickets back here, and then everything was just sort of arranged from there. So it was always a plan. Coming back here, so I didn't do a whole lot of practice when I was back in Australia, largely because I was bedridden for the first part of it, got in some bad habits of watching TV and stuff like that, and yeah, I'm not terribly proud of the amount that I actually got done while I was there in terms of doing practice, but surprisingly, so I was worried that I'd come back and I'd have forgotten a lot, lost a lot and things like that. Certainly my fitness is lacking and I'll have to build that back up, but so my flexibility was lacking, but after 4 or 5 days of stretching every day, I've gotten up to the point with, I think, almost every single stretch I'm as flexible as I was before I left. So the next week is all going to be cream. Surprisingly, despite the fact that I'm a lot weaker than I was because I was sort of wasting away doing bugger all when I was back at home, when I'm performing the techniques, I'm faster and more powerful, which is interesting. And I think it's very clearly just technique, and the technique, I guess, it's digested over time in my head. So I've been able to come back with a couple of pointers from the master, just like little intricacies that I had forgotten. My technique is considerably better. I think that the speed in particular, and part of the power, is also attributed to, so I read Bruce Lee's book Tao of Jeet Kune Do while I was back in Australia. Really, really interesting read, by the way, for anybody who's mildly interested in martial arts. He talks about philosophy in general and then builds up to the philosophy of martial arts and then to his style of martial arts and how it differs and so on and so forth. But he does also talk about things that that relate to training in general. One of the most useful things out of the book I found was his comment on why we get told to relax so much when we're, so the master's always like, he says, be like Noodle, and I'm probably just shaking the screen there a lot. So he says, be like Noodle and try to relax as much as possible. And I didn't fully understand it because I didn't get why I was being told that, but Bruce Lee explained the science of it, which was basically that when you tense up, let's say that you have like a strong form like that, when you punch like that, you have a great deal of what he refers to as generalized effort. So you've got not only the effort of the muscles that you want to activate for the punch, let's say the shoulder and the tricep, you're also activating, the lat and the bicep, which are completely opposing the motion that you want to display. So that also happens when you try to do better than your best in terms of just power alone. So if you have it in your head, okay, let's say that you're sprinting as fast as you can, and you think to yourself, I should be able to go faster than this, and you push yourself, you put in more effort as though to go faster, you'll actually find that you go slower. And the reason for that is you get generalized effort then. You're basically sending more signals out to say, okay, activate muscles because that's what I want to do, but you're already maxing out the muscles that are being used effectively, so it gets sent to other muscles. And because of that, you oppose the motion that you actually want to display. And this happens with your punches and everything. So I've been really thinking about that as I've been doing things, which has helped my form. And it's also helped me to be a lot faster and a lot more powerful, despite my speed and power, I think, on a more functional level, like fitness wise, has actually decreased. What else is interesting to talk about? So I said that it was gonna, if you remember the videos from before, it was looking really, really bleak and kind of almost like a horror film, just because everything was so far from green. And I said that the master told me it was going to bloom, and bloom pretty quickly, and it has. Actually, if you look around. Hey mate, don't mind me, I'm filming a video to put on Facebook, so if I'm talking to myself, that's what that is. That's Aaron, he's one of the other guys studying Jeet Kune Do. And I'll give you a very quick tour, because I haven't done that before, of some of the training things. This is actually new, so you've got basically just stumps sticking out of the ground, so you'd be balancing on these and doing like kicking routines and things like that, and also doing like particular forms on here, just so that you can improve your balance. And we've got higher ones here. I realise that I'm getting up to the 10-minute mark and people don't have that much time, so I'll hurry. Got boxing bags and stuff, and we do our kicks over here, usually, if we're not doing them with a partner. And then in here you've got a whole lot of training equipment, and some Wing Chun training dummies to do all your sort of your trapping moves and stuff like that. And some more boxing equipment here. So I prefer these ones for straight punches. And that's it.